All right, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Trending Thursday. I got Joey in the background. Now, the alert should be going out any moment. Take a look here in just a second. We'll give everyone a moment to make their way into the room. Now, there is a reason why I put the title I did. Value, value, value. I've been talking about, I don't even want to talk about it anymore, right? But I'm going to because it's that important. Since the holidays, right? Team Android here, John, I like it. Who was the first in the comments section today? We had B. Damu. I'm not familiar with that name. Well, welcome. If you're new to the channel, by the way, you are the first comment today. Let's see here. VV, let it snow. Man, it's still snowing here. I walked out of the desk because my office I have right now, there's not a window for recording purposes. So I went back, and I saw it. I saw the snow. I'm not that excited about it. Just a heads up, I'm off tomorrow. I'm going to make my way up to West Virginia, Ohio, see some family, see my dad's grave, I should say. There's no one that lives in West Virginia. As soon as he turned 18, he was out. I don't blame him. You interrupted the Tai Chi workout. Bill, you working on your Tai Chi today? Let me find out, Bill. Maybe you should follow that ad, Bill. See where it takes you in life. All right, everybody. We all see the market, right? We all see the market. 2 weeks ago on AMA, I was talking about the diamond head and shoulders pattern on the Qs, just as a warning. Not saying that's come to fruition or anything, but it's definitely, shaping up that way. So I'm glad I kind of put out that warning there a couple weeks ago. Again, I trade options, so I don't try to play checkers. Try to think ahead, play chess. Looks like we're finding ourselves potentially in that situation. You can see the major indices. Dow Jones down over %, NASDAQ down over %, VectorVest composite down over 1%. 3 red lights into the red right now when it comes to market timing gauge. So if you don't have access to the VectorVest software, I'm letting you know right now, especially if you're new to the channel, because I don't want to put you in the... Joey, switch us over to the screen cap real quick, because there's a big event. Our biggest event of the year is coming up. 2 weeks away now, so I get it. If it's a little too late to book a trip down there, and if you can, if you find yourself free that weekend, February 20th, 21st here, again, I've said it before, heavy hitters, Steve Chappell, Jerry D'Ambrosio, Ron Wheeler. I've had the pleasure, and I will say it has been an absolute pleasure working with Steve Chappell over the last few weeks here. You look older in 2 geez, stop that. Is that because I'm working with Steve Chappell? Is he making me look older? No, but serious note though, everything I talk about, I didn't just get this out of, some random YouTube videos. No, everything I learned here is from these instructors, and I'll throw in some, Dr. Bartolito, some others as well, that have been mentors. So if you're really trying to home in on that foundation to be successful, this right here, absolutely free. Conrad, did I see that you signed up during the Jockey Club? Is that the same Conrad? So I don't know if it's not the same username as in the Jockey Club. But if it is, I'm glad you're going to be there. I am not going to be there. It's in Tampa. I put it in the ad. So if you try, I literally said in the ad, if you're trying to get out of the cold, I get it. I'm here in Charlotte, not used to all this snow. It's in Tampa, Florida in about 2 weeks. Actually, let's just look at the weather. What's it going to be like there? Tampa, Florida weather. Next Saturday, 71 and sunny. Next Friday, 72. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm talking to management. I might try to go down there. It's way better than here. And if you're further north than North Carolina, then I definitely suggest getting out of that cold. All right, I did, and yes. Okay, Conrad, good. I'm just trying to put, the usernames here are a little bit different than the ones obviously in the trading rooms within the VectorVest community. And just a heads up, the cat's out of the bag, so I'll go ahead and make the announcement now. I am making that transition to be a part of the Jockey Club and Steve Chappell. Again, it's been such a pleasure really homing in with him, because obviously I worked with Glenn when I first got this position. But now Steve's kind of taking me under his wing, and no, I'm not leaving the YouTube channel. Still going to be here to help. But if you want to take it a step further when it comes to swing trading, if you don't have a clue what the Derby, the Jockey Club, what I'm talking about is, just go to our website, look for details when it comes to the Derby. But essentially, it's a day trading room and he's done a phenomenal job. We meet every morning, or they meet every morning. Well, I guess I'll be meeting with y'all every morning from 9 a.m. to about 10:30, 11 a.m. just to see what's going on in the market, right? Is the YouTube subscription different than the VectorVest subscription? 100% is. The YouTube subscription is only going to get you early access to the 6 p.m. videos and the Wednesday live stream. Now, a VectorVest subscription gets you access to the software, and there's different types of subscriptions, so I'm not going to get into that detail. Just Google VectorVest contact support. We'll be more than happy, to assist you with any kind of questions you have. Because not every subscription's for every investor, right? Why do you want to pay tools for, day trading, real-time data if you're more of a passive investor, right? So make sure, if you do call support, bring up those points as well. And they can try to point you in the right subscription that fits your goals, right? Because I said it on the phones. If you work 9 to 5, or if you don't look at your stocks really, 9 to 5, well, there's no point in paying for the real-time data because we got delay data, we got end-of-day data, different price points because real-time data fees, they do cost. I know in brokerages you don't really see it too much, but here we do have to pay for that real-time data fee. I do not think, as far as I know, Glenn's not going to be there in Tampa. I know we wish he had. I know Steve Chappell saw him yesterday, had a nice steak dinner with him. I actually just talked to his wife. So I'll be out of town this weekend. I think next week I'm going to Asheville. But here soon I'm going to try to catch up with them. We had so much fun a couple weeks ago. I have VectorVest subscription. Should I also get YouTube? I'll be honest with you. You can if you want for the early access of the 6 p.m. videos. But in full disclosure, it's probably not necessary. I would say that YouTube subscription might be like the first step an individual might take after finding us on the internet or YouTube, right? That might be the first one, right? Can you talk about the metals? Oh, yeah, Amir. Which Amir is that? Is that Lita or is that Amir? Let me know. But we definitely talk about metals. We're going to talk about value. We're going to talk about all kinds of good things. And I'm not going to talk about buying the dip quite yet. I'm not trying to put you on that kind of trouble today. But just, this right here has changed my life. It's changed clearly investors all over the world's lives. And I've always said it, and I'll say it again. If you are new to the VectorVest software, one of the best things you can do, have some discipline. Don't buy anything. Just learn the software. Get in tune with the cycles of the MTI and BSR. Because if you just try to jump in and start, doing this and that, it could work. It could. I'm not going to say it's the end. But you might be finding yourself have to work a little bit harder, a little bit more stress than needed, right? So I always say, if you are new to VectorVest software, just follow along with it. Get more familiar with the market timing. Me personally, have patience. The opportunities when the MTI is around 0.6, BSR less than 2. We all know that, right? Especially, well, not all, but those that have been with us for a while are. So that's why I try to, get you on the right cycle, right? Because if you come in, the MTI is high and you start buying everything, we know how that works sometimes, right? We know how that works, right? Jolts report, not good. Yeah, I saw that one, Alex. I saw that one. Labor report next week. If weak, could boost a chance for rate cut. Yeah, but I don't think those are the rate cuts we want, bud, because that really means don't ignore confirm down. Yes, is that still active? I don't have the daily, the color guard on right now. But again, if you're just tuning in, Stock Market Masterclass. I know it might be too late to fly down there and book hotels and stuff. There's still room for a couple more people. If you have questions, call support. Otherwise, free online stream, watch, from your couch, eat some popcorn, do it is what it is, right? It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. Friday, the reason why I can't go, because I will be doing all the timing the markets, the strategy of the week, that Friday. And then Saturday, I'll actually be on the phones helping out, taking orders. If you have any questions, hopefully you'll get me. Right? Hopefully you'll get me and we can talk a little bit. But I got to be quick because there's going to be a lot of people, calling in on that day, right? So we can kick it a little bit later. All right, let me get out of this. Don't be a hero, or don't try to be a hero. And you're not going to be one today. Don't try to be a hero thinking you're getting the dip right now. Me personally, I don't think so. I don't think so. It's all about earnings now. Yes, Ali G, all about earnings now. And Amir says confirm down is, it's still down. So for those that don't have the subscription, you've been maybe a little timid taking out the subscription. I don't know. But I'm going to give you a heads up though. Our slowest, and I mean the slowest market timing signal that we have just went down today. And that's a big thing because it's the slowest, it captures the big moves, right? Now we got other market timing signals, could have got you a little earlier, right? It's not on the homepage, so I try not to show that. Ryan, your take on iron. Bearish. I've been bearish. I actually should have bought my puts last week, but my car broke down, so I had to put $1,000 in that. I don't like to gamble when I have bills. But I wish I would have, because I probably could have bought a new car. I need to be more confident in myself. Maybe the Jockey Club will help that. I need to be more confident, right? Time to short. Roy, I'm not going to disagree with that. But what I would say is this. Your short should have already been open, right? You're going to wait for the slowest market timing signal to start opening shorts. We'll take a look at some support levels. But again, it's all about the chart, right? But yes, shorts, bearish option trades, contras, that's going to be the thing. Your new car broke down. Isn't it like, that wasn't brand new, but it's like, my old car had problems. It was a BMW and I got a Jeep. It's not a big, it's an engine mount issue, which I didn't even notice it. I got an oil change and noticed it, but it's okay. It's okay. Because guess what? I always look at it as a glass half full. I don't do the half empty. I do the half full. I'm an optimist. I talked about it yesterday, right? So what? I didn't get to do my short trades and make some money this week, right? That's all right. Let the market come to me. I'm cheap. I like stuff at a discount, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about some of the biggest companies in the market. Yes, the Microsoft, the Meta, the Tesla, the Google that I had behind me, right? I'm team Android, right? They had earnings yesterday. I was optimistic. It beat, but, everyone's a little nervous about AI spending, and it dropped a little bit. It is what it is, right? It did not turn out to be an AMD. And you saw AMD continue to fall. Told you yesterday where my level was. And we're going to take a look at all these today. So let's go over to viewers. Look at this. You know me. Value. Which is ironic that I use value so much being a fundamental indicator, because you would think I would be more of an RT kind of person. Because if you know me, I day trade options. That's what I do. I don't like to wait 3 weeks for 30%. I can get 30% in 4 minutes if I really want to, right? So I've been patient, and it's worked out pretty well. And that's why I am excited for the Jockey Club challenge. I call it a challenge because I don't trade stocks. So this is going to be new for me. I know I'm just going to jump in there and start shooting from the hip. Me and Steve, we got a great plan. If you have not had a pleasure to learn from Steve, hear Steve talk, do what he does, Steve Chappell, he's going to be at the Tampa event. Definitely check that out. Otherwise, if you got access to the Derby subscription or higher, those coaching groups, make sure you take advantage of it. Ryan does 30% in 4 minutes. Can you beat that, John? I don't like to brag because, my portfolio, the reason why I don't show it too much, it's like this. It's all over the place. It's up, but it's all over the place. And that's fine because I'm learning. I got a 401k. And I tell you, that's the most boring portfolio in the world, but it's okay because it keeps making money. It does what it's supposed to do. Steady Eddie growth, right? I want my 401k to be boring, right? Stops are like a best friend that shows up when needed. John, I'm telling you right now, stops, they're the key. They are the key. They are the discipline, right? Because, any instructor here at VectorVest, we got all kinds of great little trading, what would you say? Trading systems. Let's say trading systems, right? You can either do pre-made trading systems or you could take something, fancy. We've got trading like a pro course, right? You got the Holy Grail. Things that take, exact line items. You just follow the path. That's it, right? But once you start moving your stops, and we did a video on this recently on 6 p.m. And if you've noticed, the 6 p.m. videos are less about individual stocks and hype stuff, more back to the basics, more learning, right? And I've given so many bags. The software has given so many bags. Glenn has given so many bags. We give bags all the time. My initial purchase on UAMY, my 2026 portfolio, is already a bag, or was a bag. I think it's down about $1 now. So that's not the problem. The problem with the software is not finding the bags, right? That's what the software does. That's what you're looking for. It can find other things too. But more importantly, you got to have the discipline, right? Because, especially, me trading options. if you think you got to have discipline for a stock, imagine how the amount of discipline you got to have for an option. That can go right to zero in no time, right? So just keeping that in mind. That's why, the videos have changed up a little bit. Brian D'Amico is also working in conjunction with me to make sure we put a solid foundation for anyone who watches the channel. That's the most important part, right? So let's get to this. Here's some of the biggest names right here, right? There's no need for an introduction. You know all these names. We got Nvidia, the Meta, right? So forth, right? Hit the right button. Hit that like button. The only bags I'm getting these days is under my eyes. Stop it, Tab. Oh, God. Tab, let's stop it. Yeah, you can get bags. I'll tell you right now. Patience, waiting for the stock to come to you, right? It's not a guessing game, right? You put the odds in your favor. All right, let's get to these. Let's talk about some bags. Let's graph all. And for this, we're just going to look at this very basic. I'm going to get rid of the stop price because we'll see the sell recommendation, right? You're going to see the point I'm trying to make, right? Market hits new intraday low. What about Palantir? Didn't it make the cut? Oh, we can add Palantir to the list. Palantir is a perfect example. Palantir. Yeah, we can definitely add that. I said it before. The whole Michael Burry AI bubble thing. Nvidia ain't the problem. Palantir, problem. Anything that's way over the VectorVest valuation, problem. Pockets of problem. Not the whole market, but there's pockets, right? And we're seeing that. The pockets have been exposed. You can say what you want about Michael Burry and Palantir. It went from $200. Look at it now. $130. I told you as soon as it broke that ascending channel, be careful, right? And if you didn't sell, that's on you. If you didn't sell, that's on you. Look, if you look at the VectorVest composite on a 5-year chart, it does look like we could have a decent correction. We're going to do that. Actually, let's do that right now. Let's look at the VectorVest composite. Actually, let's switch this over to... Oh, I got Amazon on here. Talked about it yesterday, right? Real quick before we get to that. Look at this. Shoulder, head, shoulder. We got the gap down yesterday. It's got earnings after the bell today, right? And it already gapped down. See a little bit of a bottom wick here. I wouldn't fall for that too much, to be honest. And this is the reason why. My layout, it's got a 200-day here. It's the only reason why I see the bottom wick, right? Just for a technical bounce. You see a little level support here. This low, around 215, that's the neckline. So, come tomorrow, if you see Amazon below 215, be careful. I already had the conversation with my mom. She owns Amazon. I got it about $110, maybe just over 100 a while back. I'm telling her to be more defensive, right? I'm telling her to be more defensive, protect profits. I don't tell her what to do, but protect profits, right? I'm not gonna give my mom advice or you guys advice that I wouldn't give my own mom, right? Let's see here. My chart now is due bill. I got stopped out of almost everything. Cannot believe it. Still have CRS and a few other. John, that means the plan's working, right? Because if you're stopped, think about this. If the market keeps going down, 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 you stop. You stop. If your portfolio is stopping out for a reason, right? You can look at that, oh, boo-hoo, I stopped out of my stock. Or you can look at it, I am building up cash for a great opportunity on the horizon. Have mom buy a put against her Amazon hold longs for, oh, John, I know. She's got a financial advisor. She's still in Colorado. So I can't necessarily do that. But when she gets back in town this spring and summer, we're not doing that no more. Especially after I saw how her financial advisor handled the whole MU buy. Complete disaster. So we're going to fix that. But, we're not going to bother now. I just told her build up profit. Enjoy the ski slopes. She's still in retirement. She'll be all right. Ryan, how do you determine what your stop sell price should be? G-Money, that is a complex question. I'm not going to say it's the same. Don't treat the same stop for every stock. If you want some tips, average true range gives you a sense of volatility over a time period, kind of give you a sense of what kind of stop you should use. I personally use a trailing stop because I like it when stock, when price goes up, my little ratchet goes up, right? That's why I use a trailing stop most of the time. But as far as stops, that could be a whole long conversation, but it really depends on, if you're swing trading, your stop is going to be much different than if you're an investor, right? And honestly, I would just go to YouTube, type in VectorVest stops, and you'll have all kinds of things. But I'll show you some points where you could see weakness along the way, because not everyone just sells all at one time, right? Some people tiptoe in, tiptoe out, especially for longer term investments. That's kind of the way I like to go. I'm not going to go all in, all out at once. And these here, I mean, these names here are typically core holdings, right? You know, Apple, Palantir, Tesla, Google, Amazon, a lot of these are core holdings. So let's look at them. Before we get into the charts, Alphabet, look at this, dropped right to our value. Broadcom, all that pressure, right to our value. Now there's some value opportunities. Not saying buy it today. Apple, still way overvalued. Palantir and Tesla, out of this world overvalued, right? So let's graph these real quick. We're going to get rid of all the noise that's going on in the world. I know you got all the headlines. There's all kinds of stuff out there. China, politics, rare earths, all kinds of crazy stuff, right? But this is the point. Let's go back here to simple real quick. Let's go to value. Let's make this easier. I said this yesterday. Nvidia, I think it's fueling up. I think Nvidia is going to be the savior when it comes to earnings. Nvidia is the king. Nvidia is going to say, move over, Micron. Nvidia is back. That's what I'm thinking. It is fueling up right now. Look at that value. Look at those earnings. Yes, I know RT, it's caught in consolidation, is what it is. It is on the cusp of our stop price. The stop's 172. Currently, price action's 174. So if it drops below that, yes, a sell rating could be in place, right, with this position. Now, this prior swing low is where I'm looking at, right? We take out that, that's a danger zone, right? And yes, the market could do that. But what I'm saying is that the market might just be mispricing Nvidia, right? We see value going up. It's getting caught in the AI bubble. I like it. I'm not going to say now. I'm not going to say now. But I like Nvidia. Right? I'm not going to be a buyer of it today. But I do like it. Now, if I'm a swing trader, see what happens off the bottom of this consolidation here. Maybe you could add a 200-day moving average. If I had to guess, I'd imagine that 200-day moving average is making its way right in. Let's do that. Let's see. Add moving average. If you ever want to know, just right-click on one of these parameters. You can do an add moving average just about anything. Go to simple 40. Change this to 200. Nah, Nvidia ain't it anymore. Golden child, you say that. We'll see what happens the rest of how we finish out this month and in March. I'm not gonna say don't rush in Nvidia right now. Let's see this 200. Oh, look at this. That looks like a nice technical pivot bounce. That's for sure. Let's see here. Change style. Let's make this a little bigger. Oh, we can see. There we go. Coming right to that 200. Right at the support zone at the bottom of this consolidation. You see my resistance zone here. Hasn't been able to beat it. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting, Golden Child. I'm not gonna, I know Nvidia has been it. That's why I've been talking about Micron mostly, and that's obviously working. I don't know. I'm not going to sleep on Nvidia, and I seriously am considering, putting Nvidia back on my mom's radar in the near future when I see, the market suggesting so. Nvidia is range bound until Burry trade plays out. Yeah, I said it before. Shorting Nvidia doesn't make much sense in my opinion. Yeah, there's a little chip theory, using it as an accounting practice. I get that. It's not going to more than 200. It is not going to more than 200. Talking about Burry? I don't know. We'll see. I know that Palantir short worked, and that was the one that I told you I agreed with. Palantir is way overvalued, especially it broke that ascending channel. From a technical perspective, from VectorVest value perspective, clearly, Burry did some homework and made a good argument, and it's down almost, about 40%? All right, here's Meta, right? Here's Meta, holding my trend line. I'm okay with it. This is one of my core holdings, my 2026 portfolio here. Undervalued, right? Value slightly rising, price stable, right? I like Meta. I like that it's still undervalued. I still like it's holding this current uptrend, right? There's nothing new that will come out of Nvidia. Yeah, be careful. Nvidia RT, less than 1. Let's see here. Yeah, the AI, it's definitely less than 1 right now. I'm not in a rush to get into Nvidia. But all I'm saying is don't forget about it. Do not forget about Nvidia here in the near future. Maybe put in a watch list, see if it comes around. But I like this 200-day moving average. We'll see what happens. I'm not even close to any kind of confirmation. But if I see something nice, I might have my mom take a little nibble. I'll probably take a call on it. We'll see. Yeah, Alex says don't sleep on Nvidia. Oh, Amir, we're going to get to commodities here in just a moment. Meta, I'm liking it. But this is what I said it before that what I didn't like. It gapped down and then it gapped through this gap here, right? But look at this. We filled the gap. I like it. I like where I'm at with Meta right now. I know it's one of my core holdings, but it's all right. What is the JP? I'm telling you right now what I bet. I said a couple weeks ago, 95,000 to what? 98,000. Get your shorts ready. Who had your shorts when I said that, right? I told you when to go long on Bitcoin from the cup and handle. It was at last fall to spring, right? But no, I'm not going to, the more I learn about Bitcoin, really, the more I'm unimpressed. All right, here's TSM. Look at this. Undervalued, chasing value. That's what I like to see. Meta, Nvidia, TSM. I like these. Rising earnings per share. Yes, this one definitely looks better. RT, favorable territory for the bulls. Staying above this level support here. It's probably more looking for the retest. Looks like it wanted to get close. We'll see. 200-day, not really in the picture. Not too concerned about that. Still looks good, though. So here's when we get into some more trouble, right? Look at this. Microsoft, way overvalued. Someone made I'm not going to say what kind of comment it was, but someone said made a political comment about Microsoft. And all I said was investors got tired of paying a premium. Ryan is going to start calling Bitcoin crypto. This is what I see wrong with Bitcoin. It's fiat. I don't care what you call it. It's fiat. It's not backed by anything, just like the dollar, backed by faith, right? I like precious metals. I let my big wins turn into small wins on this downturn. You ain't the only one, man. But it's okay. Because as long as you locked in those small wins and they didn't turn into smaller big losses, Brad, it's all right. Because guess what? The market's going to do what the market's going to do. And, next rally or next whatever, just get back in, right? Try it again. But you did right, though. Microsoft is the best beaten stock right now for software. Ollie G, look at this little blue line here. Look at this little retest. Everyone thought I was crazy, when price is up here. Oh, VectorVest value don't make sense. Ryan, there's no way it's going to come back down to 400. We got the gap fill. It is filling the gap, retesting my blue line. I mean, you go back on the YouTube channel, call me out. This blue line's been here for a while. Undervalued. I like Microsoft. And my aunt just retired. She was on the board. I think I mentioned her last week, right? It's okay. It's okay. I like Microsoft. And actually, Microsoft, I did text my mom about this one. I actually sent her a screenshot pretty much of this whole situation and say, hey, Microsoft also needs to be on your radar. And if she didn't sell positions when I told her to and build up cash, she's going to kick herself in the butt. I can only do so much for her. But look at that. Earnings per share is rising. I mean, the stock was just overvalued. Now we're getting value, right? Now, do I think the bleeding is over? I think we might be getting close. This is the level I'm looking for, right? Am I going to go all in here? No. I might have mom take a little nibble here and maybe wait for a little pivot. We'll see. Even a stop clock is correct twice a day, right? Hey, I like that one. I like that. That's old. It was even a blind squirrel can tell. Like old Call of Duty quote, I feel like. A long time ago. Do not underestimate Satya Nadella. Now, I like Microsoft, but I didn't like it up here paying a premium at $5.50. Down here, undervalued, closer to $4. As far as an investment, it makes more sense to me, right? And as far as taking profits, when up here are you going to start taking profits? Maybe when this high is lower than this high, especially when we take out this low, because then we're definitely on a downtrend. Yeah, the 200-day, the sell just came in place, so that wouldn't have worked. That would just now have happened. RT relative timing giving us a sense of danger back here as well. So there's been warning signs. Look at this. There's your first little dip, right? But definitely by here, we have an RT above 1 in quite some time when it comes to Microsoft. Yeah, it was expensive. I don't think investors are not going to be paying a premium on AI stocks right now. So that's why I like value. That's why I put the value in the title of today's day. Look at AMD. Fine, look at this. Overvalued, came right back to value, right? Drop. Talked about this. I mean, the rejection here on this ascending channel. I also talked about this. Same thing as Microsoft. Gap fill. You see my level support here. See the 200-day? I mean, it doesn't look much different. The only thing different is the 200-day for Microsoft is way up here, right? So that's interesting. I like these gap fills, even if they're short technical pivots, short-term things. Microsoft spending so much, I wouldn't touch it. We could take a look at the DEW. We'll take a look at the DEW. Especially if you don't have access to the software, I might show you something cool today. DEW is one of my favorite market timing signal. But as far as AMD, look at this. We took the prior swing low here. This would be by What was it, 179? That's my target. Look, we ain't got no buying pressure yet. I don't see anything coming. So yeah, let these overvalued stocks come to us. Let them come to us. Why would I buy an overvalued stock right now, especially in tech, especially if it has to do with AI? Not doing it. Not. There's too many good stocks out there. Here's Amazon. Look at this. Overvalued, head and shoulders when the stock's overvalued, right? Now, it's got earnings today. This is going to be the neckline right here. You're looking at about 215. That's a zone. We'll trade a zone like 215 and maybe 212, right? But if it breaks that zone, nope. I'm telling Mom right now, sell it. Or at least sell some of it. It depends what she wants to do. Because I know she's got taxes and all kinds of other things she considers, right? And I get that. Microsoft's, hi, Alex. Tough day. Yes, you ain't lying. It's been a tough day here. Do we get an end of day rally? Come on. I don't know. The only way I think we're going to end of day rally is if Amazon, if people start getting excited about Amazon. I was more optimistic about Google than I am Amazon. Google, it opened a little bit lower. Nothing crazy. It was what, 2-3%, right? As far as Amazon, no. Not with this head and shoulder. Not with the pressure on right now. 200-day, she's in it, but we're going to be tightening that up here soon. You see the stop price, which is interesting. The stop's 214, right at the neckline. You see, notice that? Right at the neckline. So as soon as if you see a sell recommendation flash on Amazon, it means price action's at the neckline. And if you own it, you should probably be paying attention to it, right? Here's Google. Look at that. I love Google. Google dropped down, hit our value, came right back. If I can't show you in real time how important that value is, just look at these examples here. Look at this, undervalued. I talked about that all summer long. Look at this, June, July. This is one of the most undervalued stocks in the NASDAQ 100. It was Google, a powerhouse stock here. As of right now, a little bit of a premium, probably some profit taking going on. But look, value still on the rise, earnings still on the rise. Still a great stock. But just keep this value in mind. Because again, I'm a technical trader, but don't be sleeping on this value. Do not do it. You can see this value of each chart is very pivotal. Here's Broadcom, right? Talked about this, ascending channel. This is when it had earnings at the top of the channel. So no, I'm not going to want to be bullish. That's just a risk, obviously, big risk in that because it could have jumped above. Let's see here. Earnings. There we go. There it is, right at the top. Gap down, broke the channel, retested the channel from the bottom end. Now it's just pivoting around this 200-day. Look, we got same thing as Microsoft, AMD. We got a gap fill here. We're just right at the bottom of the gap. But look what value did, right? Price went off to the races, right? But values had some time to catch up now. Now they're pretty inclined with each other, right? So just be careful with Broadcom. I'm not liking it as much as some of the other ones. Still a little overvalued, especially with all the news, things going on in the world right now. I'm not going to be in a rush to buy an overvalued tech stock. Sorry, not going to do it. Dr. DeLito taught me too much to be in a rush for that right now. Here's Apple. Yeah, a nice little pivot here. You see the retest. Failed it before. Actually failed this retest too because it didn't touch it. But a nice little pivot to the upside. I see more of a short term. I see the buy here. Overall price is moving nicely. I just don't like the overvalued nature of it, right? So just be careful if you start to see price roll over. Just be careful because there's been too many examples of price rolling over and price getting to our valuation. Apple's not there quite yet, but you notice the last great opportunity in Apple was when it was in pretty close range to our value, right? From there, nice little jump. Here's Palantir, ascending channel. As soon as it broke this channel, again, retest from the bottom. It's not rocket science, just how stocks like to move. But this is the bigger thing with Palantir, and this is why I kind of agree with Michael Burry. Look at the valuation here, $22.93. So overvalued. I can't get behind it. I'm not going to get behind it. If I'm looking for support, it's going to be the top of this cup here, right? You see this little cup? If you didn't know, it was in a cup before. If I take the bottom, freehand line to the top. Try and measure that out a little bit here. That's the target right there, right? Not far from the high. Actually, it looks like this high. Yeah, right there. Boom. That was the parabolic move outside of the ascending channel, was to fulfill that cup and handle formation, right? But as far as UMY, or sorry, not UMY, I saw it in the comment section. As far as Palantir, I'm not going to be bullish on it, but I'm thinking 124 to 119 to look for the bounce, right? I mean, it just makes sense at the top of that cup here. But as of right now, not even close as far as an investment. Sorry. Here's Tesla. Still above the 200, but look at the value. I mean, unless the robots come, all he's getting is more competition. I'm going to be honest with you. Look at the EPS, declining, value, flat. No, I don't like Tesla as an investment. If you have been in Tesla for the last 12 months, look at this. Literally where it was a year ago. See right here? It might be a couple bucks higher. That's it. Not doing it. Not doing it. Rule of 40. Let's see here. I'd have to look into that more, Bill. You talk about like, does that have to do with like growth rate or something? The 40% growth rate. I'd have to look into more, but that's overstretched, especially with AI concerns. No, it's looking bearish. And the value needs to go up more. I can't get that excited. Palantir, I see more as a trade right now. But as far as a long-term investment, I'm not going to get excited for it at 130. That's for sure. Tesla, yeah, I'm not going to be too impressed with Tesla either. Let's look at the big picture of Tesla. It's got to hold above this. What is that? 369. We need to stay above 369. You got the 200-day moving average there as well to give it some additional support. We shall see. But that's got to be it for it. We broke above it. Didn't really get a retest. We retested the trend line, but we didn't get a retest of this prior swing high here. So I'd like to see that retest from the top, if anything. We'll see. We'll see. John says, hit that like button. 50 stocks for Glenn today. Woo! Woo! Hit that like button. You know, if I get 120 likes, how many people are in this room? Oh, yeah. If I get 120 likes, we'll just skip all this. We'll go do stock picks. Give you some motivation right there. We'll skip whatever I'm about to say. We'll go right to stock picks for the rest of the day. Mike Miller. Hello, VV Nation. Hello to you too, Mike Miller. Appreciate it. But yeah, as far as the mega cap stocks, I mean, look at this. Overvalued. Way overvalued. One of the most famous shorters in the world, Michael Burry. He called it right. I don't blame him, especially with this touch from the bottom of that channel. Perfect call. Apple, overvalued. It always trades at a premium. Just be careful with it right now. Broadcom, stretched from its valuation, came back down to value. Stretched from its valuation, look like it's coming back down to value, right? Not going to be in a rush to buy Broadcom today. Well, the 200-day moving average pivot we're seeing the bottom wick, if you take a little nibble, but I wouldn't be filling up anywhere close to a full position right now. Google came right back to value, and we're seeing buyers in that valuation. But it's been undervalued most of the time, so I like Google so much. Oh, while we're talking about it, Micron. That's what we're going to talk about. Right? Oh, Micron. Undervalued, chasing value. So far as an investment perspective, not too much concern here. This is the level I'd really look forward to see. This is kind of where I'm looking at. Potentially see if I can get my mom some more. Not in a rush right now with the market, but around 348 to 320, I see consolidation. We see the steep sell-off of the last few days here, trying to find a level of support right above that zone. So just keep that in mind here. I'm still going to be bullish on Micron. I'd probably treat Micron kind of like gold and silver, you know. Just be careful on the dips, but I'm comfortable with those type of dips, right? All right, let's get out of here. All right, now let's take a look at UAMY, SLV, BTC, and we will do GLD. Let's just take a look at these real quick. UAMY, just resting on the top of this channel. So it looks like the swing trade days are over because, again, when you break out, I've said this before, that's when you expect momentum simple gap fill. Talked about that. I think it was like a week or two ago. Yeah, about 2 weeks ago. Filled it, came back down. Yeah, so it looks like the trade was over. That was it. That was a little bit this trade. As far as the investment opportunity, if you want to sell it, that's on you. But as far as a buyer, I'd get closer to value. Right? And look at the 200-day moving average here too. Still like it. Still like it. Oh, and I did put a call on UMY a couple weeks ago. Made some money. Actually, use that money once it gets back here down to value, or if it does. But I'm not going to pay $7.62 for UMY right now. Not right on top of that channel. No. But I will say I should get. How much money did I make off that trade? I paid it about 600. So if it gets closer to $6, I might just buy it because it's going to be free for me. Because I made it from a UAMY call option. So that's a good way to buy stocks too. All right, Ryan, if you look at SPY with RT, it doesn't go under one that often. If it does, you have to stay clear and wait for a turn. Oh yeah, we can take a look at that right after these commodities. Let's get to it. All right, let's talk about this silver. Let's go back. This is how I talk about silver. Oh no, there it goes. It's the cup. Oh wait. My computer doesn't like all this data. Oh no. There we go. Freehand line. You take the bottom. Oh my God, what is going on? My computer. All right, my computer is not working out for me. Maybe I need a new computer. This there it goes. Just wants to do what it wants to do now. Now I've got all this crap I gotta clean. Oh, this is annoying. I need a new computer. All right, that's what I'm trying to do. All right, let's show you what I'm trying to do here. Silver. Boom, boom, boom. That's the cup, right? Boo, boo, cup, right? Not much of a handle. Everyone's off to the races. MU, I just did look for, I think it was around, 320, 330, that next consolidation zone. If it breaks that, be careful. I would, depending on what the market does, be kind of shocked if it broke it. We'll see what happens. But it definitely needs a breather. I don't care if Micron is that undervalued. Look how much of a move it's had, right? So I'm thinking a breather. Right? I'm not thinking a huge pullback, but it needs a breather. All right, here's silver. Oh my God. Why? This is what I'm trying to show you. If my computer will just work for me. All I need to do is work. All right, let me zoom in before my computer blows up. I'm gonna blow up my computer today. Look how crooked this line is. Let's fix this line. About as crooked as Glenn. He's not here to defend himself. I could pick, right? But look at this target. Look at this target here. I tried showing you all this way before the collapse of silver. Look at this. The last green candlestick was the target, people. It ain't math. I even shared it with you. The only reason why I even thought about cup and handles when it came to silver and gold was because of Bitcoin. Last fall, I had the cup and handle. So from an asset class, I had perfect experience with that, right? And it worked out well. We need Glenn back. All my energy to Glenn. Yes, let's give that energy to Glenn. Let me get a woo. That one was for you, Glenn. Can't wait to see you again, bud. Silver wave will not crash no time soon. I'm not talking about a crash, but I'm talking about logical levels that way we can make money. All these people talking about crash. No, they're just trying to sell views online, right? But that's it, right? If you got patience, I'm telling you right now, SLV, $50. If it comes back down to $50, I'll be the first one to tell my mom, you better buy some silver. Because I already told her I'm mad that her financial advisor, all last year, commodities. Not one financial, I'm going to say about her one financial advisor. She doesn't own any gold or silver. So yeah, if it comes back, that's cool. She can buy it. I'll probably just buy a little option on SLV, looking for the $50 bounce. But that, I mean, just the top of this cup here. Yeah, that's where I'm seeing it. You know, and if you don't like that answer, hey, that's on you. You know, Steve Chappell may not like that answer, but I'm not here to trade my heart. I'm here to trade the chart and make some money, right? I don't care what's going on in the news and, you know, this and that and politics and China, blah, blah, blah. This cup and handle formation literally put the target on the spot, the last green candlestick. So let's look at the next one here. Here's Bitcoin. Bitcoin, we're not got enough data, and I don't feel like showing you trading view. I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't been bullish on Bitcoin in quite some time. Well, since the cup and handle thing I talked about last fall, right? And no, I'm not going to be bullish now. You know, just looking at this little bit of data, because, you know, these ETFs are rather new. You probably have to go to trading view. Look at the big picture here, right? But yeah, I do see support here. But all in all, I'm not going to be bullish on Bitcoin. Still going to be a little bit bearish there. A little bit bearish there. Here's gold. Came back, retest. Look at that. Y'all almost there. Y'all wanted me to shut up and start taking y'all stocks then. You got the 90 likes. You got 30 more to go. 30 more to go. We're going to get your stocks either way. RSI 17 on Bitcoin. You know, a short-term pivot, a short-term bounce. I could probably get around with that. Gold, you know, as long as our debt keeps going up and the dollar, you know, I'm a citizen of the United States. I don't even trust the dollar. So yeah, I like gold. I own some gold. I can see exactly why other countries are filling up on it as their central bank reserve, right? You know, seems like the world is trying to go away from your typical fiat currencies that we adopted in the 1970s. Now it's more, not necessarily gold back, but we're thinking more commodity back. You know, you got the petrodollar, but you know, we'll see what happens with that stuff. But gold, yeah, I like gold. And if you want to really get a good price on gold, closer to this trend line possible, you got a nice level support here. GLD, that's gonna be around $400. Right now it's at 444. You know, we'll see what happens, but that would be the dip I'm looking for on gold. Still gonna be bullish on these commodities going forward, though. At least in the long term. Bearish in the short term sometimes, depending on the chart. All right, let's get out of this one here. Now, let's look at SPY, QQQ, and VVC. Consolidation, SPY, nothing crazy. Look at that. Oh, yeah, John, I see what you're talking about. That RT below one thing here. You're right. RT doesn't go below one too many times, but when it does, you really can get some pressure in the markets, right? So yes, keeping an eye on RT, making sure RT stays above one. I mean, literally, I'd either want it to stay in this consolidation zone, the bottom 652. Obviously, a new high would be good for the bulls. Otherwise, this RT just needs to stay above one, because if it drops below one in this consolidation zone, it's not giving me a good feeling for the bulls, at least in the short term. See, Joey, hold up. I'm getting it, Joey. Hold on. Let me take the mouse. I can't do it if you're doing it. I can't do it. All right, I'll let you do it, Joey. You do it. You do it.
I can't get it.
And that's why I was trying to do it, bud. I can't do it when you're doing it. So stop moving the mouse. I see you moving the mouse. It says JR. I see you wiggling on the screen. It's all good. All right. Where'd that go? There we go. Cool. Sorry. My bad. I minimized one of Joey's screens. Do you think IRIN and CLSK with earnings today can come back? Ollie G, I like the IRIN swing trade, right? We'll talk about it in just a moment. But right now, we'll talk about it. I'm going to be a little bit more bearish on IRIN. But we'll see. Here's Q. It looks like Qs are just consolidating too here. First level, this is my support zone. Top of that zone, 600. Bottom of that zone, 586. So we got a little bit of room to the downside. Let me get rid of value. Value ain't going to do us no good with these indices. Actually, let's do this. Oh, look at this. RT is below 1. Interesting. Be careful. See, last time it went below 1. There was definitely some pressure there. Right? Look at the consolidation. Perfect example of RT. This is a weekly candlesticks. Just a heads up. We are on weekly candlesticks. These consolidation, right? That's probably the bottom of the consolidation. There's about the top. Broke through it with RT below 1. Let's see here. Let's do this. Let's switch it. to, where is it? Pro Trader Timing DEW layout. This is the same layout that we use for the DEW timing signal when it comes to the VectorVest composite. I've seen a lot of customers do it with the QQQ. I haven't heard too many talk about it with SPY, but logically I can see that. Actually, you see the 30-day here. Look at that nice level support. Actually, the 30-day works pretty well with the SPY. Just saying. Never really noticed that. Never really traded the SPY. I'm a QQQ person. Not that it's a bad thing. But as far as the signal, though, DEW would be down on the SPY by these requirements. Price action below that 30-day weighted moving average, right? And the DPO now in negative territory. If we take a look at the Qs, let's go 3 months here. Kind of all over the place in this channel. I'm not liking that. Let's take a look at the VectorVest composite here. You see, we're in a little ascending channel here. Boo, 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 boo. Look at this. Price action broke the 30, and actually, as of right now, looks like we could get a DEW down signal today. It's not confirmed, but it is flashing. Hello, Furby, by the way. I like that name, Furby. It reminds me of a little stuffed animal back in the day. But yeah, VectorVest composite, nice consolidation, range bound to the upside. You know what I mean? I love a good channel, just ping and pong. It's like, swing trader 101. Makes life easier. And a nice channel, right? We broke the channel, first warning, but the DW is giving us the final say now, right? It looks like we broke it. It looks like we tried to retest it from the bottom. Kind of failed that, but we hit a new low as far as swing low. So we got lower highs, lower lows, DW down. Looks like the confirmed down situation could also be a reality at the end of today's close. So be careful. Again, VectorVest, we're not going to advocate buying stocks. You want to go out there and be a hero, you could try that. And you probably have a headache too, because I'm not seeing it right now. Definitely not. We're literally in the midst of all the warning signs right now. So I'm not going to be buying, unless I'm not even going to say unless the chart sticks out, because I still don't really feel that comfortable with it. I'm going to be bearish. So me personally, me, I'm an option trader. So I would think those strategies, if you're not familiar with options, you think contra ETFs. Otherwise, if you don't play to the downside, you don't trade options, you can't hedge your portfolio, whatever it may be, cash is a position. I don't know why everyone tends to forget that, but sometimes cash can be the best position, right? I'm not saying that, go straight to cash, but, as your stops hit during this market rollover we're seeing or in the midst of right now, hey, that's fine. Listen to your stops. Listen to the plan you had in place. That is it. What time is it? 'Cause I do want to, oh, wow, it's 2:53. Let's get right to it. How many likes we got? We did not hit 120, unfortunately. We got 97. I'm going to give you 11 stocks. I'm going to give you a bonus one. First 11 stocks coming through. Those are the 11 stocks we're going to go over. So put them in. Iron. There we go. I knew that one was coming. Iron's got earnings today. Been 100% cash, about 3 weeks. Happy camper here. Yeah, Joe. I will say, if you don't have the tools or the knowledge, whatever it may be, if you don't have the abilities, I know some accounts don't have the ability to play to the downside, cash, All right, we got enough stocks. Looks like we definitely got 10, so don't, no point typing any more in. Let's see, we got MOD. Got a couple people looking for MOD. MCK. XOM. ADBE. JOE. CLS, PPC, RIVN, coin. I'm gonna put Hood. That's gonna be an honorable mention. Because I was thinking about shorting Hood recently. I think I even mentioned that on a live stream. It was about to break the prior swing low support at 100. Hopefully, I did mention that in that live stream, because now it's at like 80 something, right? We'll take a look at it in just a moment. Let's see, how many stocks is this? We got B. Barrick Gold also reported. I'll put B as well. Let's see if there's any other. I got Viab, John. What's going on with Viab? I'm going to buy rating. All right, let's sort these. Value divided by price. We got the value opportunities up top. The over ones at the bottom. Looks like a mixed bag of holds, buys, and sells here. Let's get to it. Graph all. We're not going to use DEW here. We did look at TSM. I still like TSM. It's really nothing crazy on the pullback either. Be careful, rushing into buying it, but still undervalued. Values rising, chasing value. I like everything about that. Actually, we're going to switch to my more complicated. Now we're going to get rid of RT. Value. I love value. We're going to do this. Change stock type, new area. Get rid of my Bollinger Bands. Get rid of 3 and 8. There we go. And we're going to look at earnings per share. Growth rate earnings. Oh, wait. All right, check it off, duh. Here we go. All right, so I'm mixing a blend of technical indicators, get a sense of trend, right, with fundamental analysis, our valuation perspective, with forecasted data. Forecasted EPS, no, our earnings per share is not going to be what you see when you open up your broker. So when you open up the software and you see it's different, don't even call us. I'm going to tell you right now, it's just a leading 12-month forecast. So it's not going to be, it's not going to be the same. I've gotten that call before. Growth rate and earnings. This information, our provider is the NASDAQ. So it's the leading 12-month, or the growth rate and earnings is the, percent and growth rate and earnings over I said it's what, 1 to 3 years? Yeah, it's more of a longer term. It's longer than earnings per share. That's the point I'm trying to make. Earnings per share, leading 12 months. Growth rate, next 1 to 3 years, right? So if you're an investor, these are definitely items you want to look at. Now, if you're a day trader, earnings per share, growth rate, probably not even going to phase you, right? Not even going to be on your graph layout. All right, so Adobe, sorry, I didn't mean to click that. No, value's dropping, price is dropping. And we know the pressure when it comes to AI and Adobe. Their software is under direct attack when it comes to AI generation. Yeah, we go back here. No. Yeah, once value hit a new low, it started dropping. I mean, sell recommendations off and on. So many warnings here. I got a line. If you've been holding, obviously you haven't been exercising a whole lot of discipline. If I keep going back here, there's a little line I used. It's this swing high right here. This was back in 2018. This is the hope I see for Adobe. More of a short-term pivot. Obviously, sentiment has to turn around, but you see growth rate on the decline. Earnings per share is rising. So it's not a bad stock. It's just a lot of momentum to the downside. I can't get behind it. I like the setup. Yeah, Anthropic is killing these software. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Adobe is not the place. I do not want to be where the AI killers are. I don't want to be in that crosshair. Adobe's in it. Until I see value start to turn around, no. Until I see growth rate and earnings start to turn around, no. Because, I mean, what would have been a good deal on Adobe? 400, 300. What is a good deal? It's hard to answer right now because value keeps dropping. So I'm not going to be in a rush for that one. Here's Barrick Gold. Look at that nice support level there. 42.86. That's where I see it going. I like it. And yeah, if gold takes a breather, I wouldn't be surprised either. Because traders have pushed these commodity prices to crazy levels, right? These are real commodities that the economy needs, right? But yeah, that's where I see right there about 42. It already broke the 20. I mean, you could throw a 40 or 50 on there, but it's still an uptrend. Still an uptrend. Still undervalued. Value still rising. Earnings per share growth. It still looks good. Still looks good. Gold still looks good in general. The only thing about gold is, I've said it before. I'd be real picky about my gold or silver stocks. If it's not undervalued, if it doesn't have killer forecasted data, I'd skip it. Because there's too many good ones out there. Adobe had a death cross clear back on October 28th, 2024. Yeah, I don't see life coming back to it either. We'll see. All right, here is McKesson Corp. Woo! Ooh, look at this. Breakout follow through. Woo! This is a drug wholesale. It's not tech, so it's not feeling the pressure. But look at that value. Look at that growth rate. 22% and climbing. Earnings per share rocketing. Phenomenal stock. Yeah, if you don't want to chase it after it's $1,000 stock, 968, so it's an expensive one. I don't want to be in a rush to chase it. If I'm looking for some kind of pullback in the future, some kind of retest, it's going to be the prior swing high. I'd look around 896. If you got some patience, that alert might trigger. Otherwise, I'm not going to chase that one. I will say this. This is where I would be careful. At $1,000, you see this trend line here? I don't know why, but I just feel like that line is going to be important in the near future. That's all. I just feel like this line is going to be important. About $1,000. Just be careful of that. But the retest level, I'm looking around 900. I'm not saying I'm going to do it today. We're going to have a big upper wick. I wouldn't be surprised. Just rolled over, came to retest, and maybe went back up. But the stock's greatly undervalued. It's just expensive. I don't know how many people are buying $1,000 stock, but it's not a bad one. Here is PPC. Look at that. Broke the 200. Look at this. The value flattening out. Okay. Let me go back up. Let me go back here a little bit. Still early. Look at earnings per share turning around. I need to see a little bit more life and value. If I get value to take out, maybe this swing high. Well, this is a resistance low I had back here. You can see. I got to get value back up to like 54, 54. Let's say 55. If I can get value to start uptrending with earnings per share and price back above the 200, that is an investment or a trade I could get behind, right? And it's not tech, so we got to worry about the bubble stuff. This is meat products, food, so far from it, right? A little early, but I like what I'm seeing so far. Whoever put this one in, especially if you're way over diversified in tech, just be careful, but this is not a bad one. Obviously with the market, I'm not going to rush to get into it, but if you're already in it, it's not a bad one to be in. Coin, crap. Look at this. And I did hood too for a reason. Crap. I'm not going to say it's crap. But you know me, I love Coinbase. I like tokenization. I like Robinhood, industry disruptor. But this, investors paying for premium and hype. That's all 400, 450, 300 is all premium and hype. Think about it. It's Coinbase. Half the people, who use Coinbase are using meme coins, pump and dumps, crap coin, right? And hey, crypto's got its place in the world. That's fine. But I'm not going to be excited about buying Coinbase way over valuation, right? But now, common sense is coming back into Coinbase. Coinbase has got a good business model. Look at the value. Still rising, right? But yeah, if Bitcoin continues to go down, it's going to put pressure on Coinbase, right? But yeah, I'm not in a rush to get in here. This is my red level. There was no pivot on this red line. You see a little gap here. So that's where I look for the retest. No pivot. I wouldn't have taken that trade. There's nothing there. It just broke right through it. Earnings per share is still rising. Yeah, growth rate's fading a little bit, but it's still at 33%. I think we take out this low. It's all right. That's what I'm looking for right here. That one. That's the one. Where is that? 113 undervalued. I'm going to tell you right now, I'd probably put an alert for Coinbase. 113. See what happens down there at that level. If I had to guess, I'm thinking of pivot. Otherwise, BTC can get its act together. I know they have the next Bitcoin halving around April. So that's where I would think I'd see some enthusiasm in Bitcoin, but not right now. And I'm not going to be pulling the trigger on coin right now either. Hood's getting dragged into it too. Don't worry. I got Hood on here. We're going to pick on Hood too. Not just Coinbase. CLS, it's still range back. I mean, look at that big move right there. Yeah. Just take a little breather on the technicals. The value caught right up. We're waiting on the technicals. We ain't waiting on the fundamentals. We're waiting on this 200 to get up here. That way investors get a little bit more comfortable, right? And that's cool if it piddles around and value keeps climbing. Guess what? CLS is going to find itself back in an undervalued chasing value situation, hopefully, right? Earnings per share rising, growth rate 32%. Man, I like it. I like it. I use 3 phone to hit the like. Can you check fix, please? We can check fix here in a minute because that was a big VectorVest one. Remind me, because anyone, 80 stocks that are top VST. I know a lot of our customers look at those, so I do, I will use those as honorable mentions if those or if they're my stock picks, thing like that. DEW confirmed down, not a time to be in the stock market here. Exactly, John. Right? Look at this breather. If anything, I wouldn't be surprised if CLS did a little pivot. If it broke down, pivot off this 200, came back. That's my, I don't like to be a future teller. I could be way off. But if I had a crystal, if I was a betting man, that's what I'm gonna bet. I'm gonna say we break this, knock out those stops, get some liquidity going, bounce off that 200, hopefully, right? And if it breaks it, stay disciplined, right? Not everything works. Here's mod. Undervalued, a little overstretched right now, right? A little overstretched, still holding the uptrend here. See a gap. Is that earnings? Is that what happened? Oh no, what caused this gap down? It was short-lived though. Oh, you know what? Came down here, test this 200, a green line, and went right back up to the races. I like the stock. If I go back here, my target's off the charts. Target is off the charts. I'm not saying it's going to go right up there, but you can see it's making its way. It's getting close to that target. It's not too far off the chart, but it's getting close, right? So I'd be careful if you start to see rejection over the next few days, just because it looks like we might be hitting a target here soon, right? Here's Hood. Again, the value. Oh, I can't express to y'all how important this valuation is. Hood, again, the company behind pumping stocks. And no surprise, it's going to get pumped way over its valuation. Look at this, 160 close. Look, I even got resistance right here. So clearly been bearish on it. I mean, you could just ping off this line, or could have. I need to start listening to myself more. I can't wait. We can put some. I can't wait to get in that Jockey Club with y'all. I can't wait. We gonna make some money. But yeah, Hood. Nah, don't be a hero. I'm not even close to looking at Hood right now. Look at Hood. Look at the top of the cup here, or probably about 66. That puts us right over our valuation. Within 10%, I call it fairly valued here. Alex, I would say that's 100% right. The prediction market. Not even just prediction market. Because you got to think about it, man. The people who jumped on the crypto bandwagon ain't too far from the people who are betting on sports and betting on, what Taylor Swift does. They're not that far from each other. So yeah, I see crypto getting in competition with some of these other bets, right? Because that's all most of crypto is. If you're really buying a Dogecoin, thinking there's real value behind Dogecoin and a real system, no. The only value is what the next person's going to pay for it, right? There are some cryptos I see that have real purposes, and now they have backed cryptos. Like I've looked at some silver and gold backed cryptos. They've got Mag 7 backed cryptos. So there actually is some kind of liquidity or real substance behind it. But in general, don't be. They literally got coins called poop coins. Maybe me and Glenn should make a poopiosity coin. Would you guys buy it if we made a poopiosity coin? I don't know. I'm in rare form today. What was it 308? Joey's gonna be like, we gotta get out of here. All right, Hood crap. I'm not gonna lie. Look at that jump in value. Stock did nothing, but as soon as value jumped, it's there. If you're in this one, don't overthink, especially the market right now. Don't give up those gains. Just throw a trend line on there. You just hit a new high today. Don't stress about it. You're above the trend line. You're above the 20, right? Tokenization is another one. Tokenization, like Data Vault, right? Data Vault. They have a lot of competition. I'm not gonna sit here and say Data Vault's gonna make you a millionaire. If you bought it way overvalued, I treated it like a trade. I sold it on the second shoulder, right? And now it's right around our valuation. If we had more time, we'd take a look at it. But Joe, I like that. That's not bad. And that forecasted data at the bottom was jumping lately. XOM, that's petroleum. I mean, you got to follow the news and stuff. Venezuela, Iran, all that good stuff. But yeah, as long as tensions are occurring in the Middle East, we know how that goes. If you don't see much opportunities, the petroleum, I think about a year or two ago when the Houthi situation was occurring. Don't forget about the shipping stocks. Those shipping lanes, sometimes you can find opportunities in those when it comes to Middle East conflict or whatever you want to call it, right? We need the Super Bowl poll. Joey, you down? Super Bowl poll? And then we're going to get out of here. Let me know if I need to stop moving my mouse too. Oh, yeah, whenever you... we'll do it towards the end on the outro. VIAV, look at this. Priced in nothing. Value rose. Kind of met in the middle. Just be careful. A little overvalued. I got a gap here as well. I'm kind of nervous about. But overall, see what the news... Oh, it's fiber optics. It's hot too. But look at that value. That thing's jumping. Growth rate and earnings. I said it before. I did a fiber optics video. Barely anybody watched it. But if you think the data in this world is transferred by satellites in the most part, it's not. We're still, for the most part, it's like 80, 90%. It's been a while since I did the video. But it's still all fiber optic cables, right? We get those big cables going under the ocean, connecting countries. That's how telecommunication works. It's not all satellites yet. It's not all satellites yet. VIAV, be careful overall. I like it. Just that gap fill got me a little nervous. Just got to ask yourself what you're doing. I got in VIAV on that base. The earnings were awesome. Oh, this base right here between support and resistance. Yeah, but I'm not mad at it for you. And look, you got it. Is it still a down day? We haven't looked at the market in about an hour, but it's got a nice candlestick today on a down day. I like that. Iron, I told you yesterday, broke this trend line. This was when I bought it here in my 2026 portfolio. I did re-up on it or filled the position, I think somewhere in here. Either way, I'm okay with it. But this 200 day is where I'm looking. Value's kind of flat. I like to see value. I did see some articles where they're trying to expand their GPU. It was like a bunch of more GPUs, but they're trying to expand their business. And they might get caught up in the whole AI bubble thing, right? If you got some patience, I'd get closer to valuation. That's what I did here. I got as close to valuation as I could during that buying time. Obviously, I ran out of time to fill my 2026 portfolio. We'll take a look at that right after this. Iron. But yeah, I'm going to be bearish right now on iron. Rivian just broke the 200 day. Look at the value declining. Earnings per share. Nope. Don't like anything about it. Nope. And it broke the 200. Be defensive. Other than that, don't marry the stock. It took me 2 seconds to realize Rivian. No, I'm not gonna waste my time with that one. All right, let's see here. Still positive. That's good. I went from 27%. At least I built me a little buffer. Where are my problem childs? I got another problem child, 7. So iron. But that's fine. We can do that. I'm looking more towards the back half of the year on iron. What's my cost average? 44. Yeah, I should have went all in around that 30 here. That's for sure. Let's see here. Netflix down 12. Molar. Yeah, Molar's having a little issue here. All right. Let's go back to the homepage. Yeah, 313. We got to get out of here. Joey, did you do the poll? Oh, Seahawks took it. Look at that. Let Joey show the JP. Seahawks took it 58%. I will say the spread is in the favor of Seahawks. Do I want to go Seahawks? Who are you going for, Joey? I'm going to go Seahawks.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, Joey Seahawks too. Joey Seahawks too. What? You know I'm mad? Joey, who's the QB of the Seahawks right now? You know? You don't know?
Arnold,
Yeah. You know who he used to play for?
the Panthers.
The Panthers? Man. We pretty much trained some real good QBs, but oh man. Don't Sam Darnold. Thanks for going to the Super Bowl without us, bud. It's okay. Maybe next year. All right, on that note, I'm going to work with Brian. We're going to get a good video next week. I'll be making my debut in the Jockey Club. I will only be doing the pre-market analysis, get my feet wet there. John, I knew you was Patriots fan. You up in the Northeast, bud. My family, most of them are Patriots fan, but it's okay. I'm going to have to go for Sam Darnold. I kind of liked him at the Panthers. I just didn't think we equipped him enough, but it is what it is. You like Amazon now? We'll end on this. We got to go. Because if you missed it, there's nothing I like about Amazon right now. My mom owns it. Look, shoulder, head, shoulder. It gapped down before earnings. Earnings is today. It wasn't yesterday. It gapped down. So be careful on that. The sentiment's not there. The neckline, it's around 215, about 212 to 217. Look at this right here. That's going to be the neckline. If it breaks below that, be careful. On that note, everyone, enjoy your week and go Seahawks. Go Sam Arnold. Bye.